is we correlate the tarot cards to the tree of life, the Kabbalah, the Kabbalistic tree of life. And just to kind of give you a little crash course, we did the ones, we did the twos, we did the threes. Last week we did the fours. Today we're doing the fives. So 5 is associated with Mars, okay? It's labeled severity on here. So the 5s are severe. Last week we worked with mercy. And actually I had an arising last week. So you know, last week we talked about the 4s being like giving, and it's associated with Jupiter, you know, the all-giving force. Mercy to murk. You guys ever heard that? You gamers out there? Oh, that guy got murked. You know, my power was over giving. It gave so much it overpowered. Today we're going to talk about severity. Severe. So what is severity? We ask open-ended questions. So it's like there's no right or wrong answer. So what's severity, guys?
An intense impact.
Oh, that's good. What's severity, CJ? Yeah, that's pretty severe. That would be severe for sure. Cutting, you said. I like that. We'll talk about that in a second. Dang it, CJ! Let's stick with severity and then we'll get there. What's severity? Like harshness, cruelty, austerity, grimness, hardness, sharpness, stern, unkind. Those are all severity. What's severe? What powers in the universe are severe?
Like weather events, like dangerous weather events.
For sure. Those are for sure severe. What else is severe?
Severe injuries.
Severe injuries, yeah. Debilitating, for sure. What else?
Thinking how where the land meets the ocean and there's a cliff, that's sort of severe because it's a big change in like land to water pretty much straight down.
So what causes big changes in life besides bodily injury? What are abrupt changes in life that make things different for us that are severe?
Someone passing?
Yeah, for sure. That is for sure severe. And that can be abrupt. Like somebody gets in a terrible car accident and they just pass away. For sure. That is severe. I like that actually. What else is severe?
Yeah, like ties in with the word seven, like losing a person, losing a friendship, a breakup, like cutting ties again.
Good. Cutting ties, that's severe. How? Go ahead.
I was gonna say social, getting excluded or being unfriended.
For sure. Losing a friend, that is severe. That hurts. Especially if it's like, why? Why are we not friends anymore? You know, we want to know why. How about justice? Is justice severe? Yeah, it should be. It can be.
Yeah, you want to be able to rely on it as that, moral right, moral rectifier.
Yup.
And then there's multiple kinds of justice, right? Some people see a difference between
Definitely. What goes with justice? Fear. Yeah. Yeah. The videos talked about that a little bit. Good job. Somebody listen to the videos. What else? What happens after justice? Or what happens with justice? Like justice happens and then a sentence, a judgment. Judgment is severe. You're like, why did that person judge me? They're being so severe. Why did that person make that conclusion and now we're not friends anymore? What the heck? That's so severe. That hurts. That cut into me. That cut into my soul, my heart. Right?
But that's so emotional. I think that's really interesting. It can get dangerous, right, when you're having over emotional attachments to whatever is trying to do the severity, because then it gets almost in the realm of like the cards. I think of you were talking about the devil, the king, sort of like that, and unhealthy emotional attachments.
Mm. Oh, yeah, we let our emotions get the best of us. Our own emotions can be severe. Like I deal with this really difficult caregiving patient at my job, and I shouldn't let that guy get the best of me. I shouldn't let him be so severe on my emotional standing. That's my own fault for being so emotionally attached, but it's because I care, you know. And I'm like, why is this guy being a butthead? Good point. Good point. That's a really good point. How about righteous restraint or rigorous restraint? That can be severe. Being restrained. It's like, what the heck? I'm being held back. This feels so severe. Why doesn't this situation just happen? I'm being held back. What else?
Something that knocks you off your path.
Knocks you off your path. Yeah, same type of deal.
Could severe also be a sort of in a positive situation where like suddenly you just like won a bunch of money at the lotto? It's severely a change, which is kind of good, but then maybe it's not for that person. Maybe they don't know how to handle their money and suddenly they don't know what to do and they have all these fake friends around them out of nowhere. I'm just saying, like just severe, like anything that's could be good even.
Yeah.
They dated for 2 days and now they're married. Like that's severe. I think. I mean, maybe not, but
Yeah.
just I thought of it like that too.
It
Something
could,
that's just surprising or like something you weren't expecting.
for sure, surprise, unexpected. Those are all severe. That's good.
It could be good. Like oh, your parents bought you a brand new car. You just turned 16. That's severely a change of like yay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought of. I mean.
It does sound good. I feel like with all those examples, though, like it's something that very easily could go in either direction of like good or bad. Is like, yeah, like you said, if someone got a bunch of money from the lottery, you have to know what to do with it. If you get a brand new car but you're only 16, you have to know what to do with it.
Yeah. But you could know what to do with it too.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there could be positive severe situations. I use that word a lot sometimes. I'll say it was severely awesome or something. Like I don't know why I do that, but maybe it's because I'm trying to change up the word phrase. Usually associated with like an accident or illness or a divorce or something terrible.
No, for sure. Severe represents change. Severe definitely represents a change. Good. We're thinking. That's what we want here. We try to get our brain juices moving here. So it definitely means change. Good. What else can be severe? Good. Actually, I have that written down. Self-discipline. Yeah, that can be for sure severe.
I was thinking about self-discipline because someone was talking about it like a while ago. Some reader was talking about, was it Saturn is self? I don't know, but
Mhm.
about like structure and like talking about it in a negative light. But like I have a tattoo that says self. Like I love self-discipline, and so yeah, I feel like with anything there can be a positive or a negative way to look at it or come out of it. But it seems like change, but in a structuring kind of like delineation way.
Yeah. Severity is delineated for sure. Actually, that's interesting you say it that the other person was associating it with Saturn because our Saturn power is right above the Mars force. So here's the Mars force, here's the Saturn force. Both of them kind of encapsulate. Saturn is encapsulating, okay? It's a restrictive force. Yeah.
So with any kind of law, it's like here's the rules.
Right. Saturn is the rule giver. Good. I like that. What else is severe? Pain. Pain is severe, which leads us into sever. CJ. So the root of severity is to sever. What is to sever?
Divide.
To divide. And where are we? At 5. We're halfway between 10. We are divided. We have pieced apart from 1 officially. Good. We have severed, or we are severing the halfway point. We are dividing it. Okay, so what else does it mean? To create many. We had a whole piece, now we severed it. We're creating many pieces. Do you want to say something?
No, I was
Yeah, we're creating many pieces. Good. So it means to cut in half, to remove, to separate. Death is to separate, to remove from the physical world. When we lose a friend, we remove them from our lives. When we get a whole bunch of money, our old life is removed. Things will no longer be the same. Will no longer be the same. Whether it be we get a whole bunch of fake friends or we buy $1 million house, things are not going to be the same ever. I'm going to move the computer back a little bit so we can hear everybody. I was watching the sound meter and it was not catching your guys' voices too well. So part of coming in is you get a recording of the session. So make sure to put your email on the. Actually, we didn't do the sign-in sheet. After we get through the Kabbalistic part, we'll have everybody sign in. So we are gonna do. What else is to divide, or to remove, or to separate? Guys, death, losing a friend, getting a bunch of money. Growing. Yeah. That's like removing ourselves from that old self that falls in line with that self-discipline. When we grow, we have to have some type of self-discipline, for sure. Good job. Growing pains, that lines up with the Mars force. Mars wants to grow, wants to take over. Good. That's biology, fun. Yeah, biology. Our whole existence is built off of all those little carbons growing together.
Or having a baby.
Yeah. Our old lives are severed forever. Things will never be the same.
Or like moving locations.
Yes.
Moving locations, getting a new job. Those are all severe situations. Good. So, how does the number 5 relate to severity? Being severe or severing? What do you guys think?
I was thinking of a star. burnt on all edges.
Oh,
And it's like severing itself on the inside.
that's really good. A 5-pointed star is sharp. Nice. Bringing geometry into it. Good. What else?
I just think of like 555, which is like in numerology, that's like severity, huge changes coming. Get ready, buckle up. Things are about to change. That's why I know about 555.
Yeah, definitely.
Can I share something personal about that?
Yeah.
In December, when my life went, my rent changed for 1 month before I had to break my lease. 1 month I paid $555, and then my car broke down, and the dealership, the number started with 555.
Wow.
Severity.
Yeah, it was a severe time.
It's severity. Sorry.
Hey, I'm out of that.
Yeah.
It's okay. That's why we're here, because we all have like-minded. We all are like-minded. You know, we like to read the universe through number and shape and color. Awesome, good. Bringing our real life into it. 5 does not have a side. It can't choose a side. It cannot choose a side. That's what makes 5 debilitating. Does it make any sense? Kind of?
Pleading the fifth or being a fifth wheel.
Yeah, pleading the fifth. Staying silent. I can't choose a side. It's because it's stuck halfway. So 5 also represents the union of both sides. Represents, so since severity represents justice, there's 2 sides. One side is like, hey, you did this. The other side's, no, I didn't. I didn't do it. But that power of justice, that 5 power is unifying both of the sides. Does that make sense? Okay. So one side could be feminine energy, one side could be masculine energy. And I'm going to show you guys something. This is fun. 5, literally, by nature, represents the union of opposites. Watch this. This is cool. I don't have the whiteboard out today, so just bear with me. Here we have 5, okay? Use your imagination. Represents masculine and feminine energy meeting. We broke it and cut it in half. Here's the masculine, here's the feminine energy. You like that? Pretty good, huh? So it literally represents union of opposite sides. Okay? So the number 5 is also a unifying number. It's piecing things apart, but it's also binding them to create the cell. Division. Our dividing universe. Go ahead.
So what about the 5th chakra? You know, your voice, like what you say or don't say. I don't know, just thinking about that.
That brings us together or pieces us apart.
Exactly.
Good. The 5th chakra are the voice. Yeah. And in the tarot, they associate the Hierophant, or the system that I follow, they associate the Hierophant to the nail, which is also associated to your inner voice. Yeah, the Hierophant, our higher selves. Hiero. Yeah, that's good. Huh?
Like hieroglyphs.
Hieroglyphs, yeah, reading, speaking, understanding. Right under understanding. It's right under understanding. We can either understand or not understand. Understand the side or not understand the side. So 5 can be unifying or it can be dividing. All right. So this Sephira or Sephiroth or whatever you want to call it is related to the reproductive powers of the universe. Why do you guys think that is? It doesn't have to be just man and woman. I mean, everything reproduces. Our cells divide, plants reproduce. Let's think beyond just man and woman having sex and creating a baby. Let's think beyond just that. Why would that be? Why would that be associated to the reproductive powers of the universe?
Well, I guess a lot of times in order to like solidify an idea, you have to talk about it. In order to like solidify that in other people's realities, you have to talk to them about it.
Good. And they have to understand it.
Yeah.
Good. And then the thought divides. The thought then divides into somebody else. Good. It's exactly what Jesus did. And Buddha. And Krishna. And all those other people. They had this wonderful spiritual realization and they started dividing it and spreading the word. Hey, listen to this. Oh, listen to this. And it said that Buddha, Jesus, Krishna, they conquered or understood the Kundalini force. And the Kundalini force is the reproductive power or the spiritual reproductive energy that reproduces, that divides. So by them sharing their word, their spiritual teachings, and reproducing it in others, you know, the apostles, all of Buddha's followers, they were trying to reproduce what that person went through, right? So that's why they say, oh, Jesus and Buddha mastered the Kundalini, because they were able to reproduce their spiritual awakening in others. Good. Good one. Proud of you. What else? So Jesus split apart his spiritual awakening into others. What else?
What's the main question again?
How is this Sephira related to the reproductive powers of the universe?
What's the Sephiroth's title again? It's just
Severity.
Severity.
Severe. To piece apart.
Related to the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it was created.
Yeah.
Creation of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
That was severe. Big Bang.
Yeah, the creation of our reality was definitely severe. That was a big change. Whatever happened. Whatever happened.
This is kind of the same, similar to what I already said, but like thinking about Jesus, like breaking bread and like sharing that and like creating community.
Yeah. Community to be with two sides, to be with others.
And when people are going through severe situations, that kind of brings them together too, for sure.
Oh, nice.
Like a catastrophe
COVID.
happens, and then it brings those people together to collectively think of the solutions.
Oh yeah, because COVID like separated people but brought them together in a lot of different ways too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Severity could also force us to make changes. Could force us to make changes, like COVID.
It gives you that extra push.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Mars force. Mars force pushes. That forces the pushing power. Mars. Mars is also associated with war. Mars is associated with war.
That's what I was thinking too with like people protesting, you know, it can become really severe. You know, riots and whatnot, until change happens, just people in general.
Yeah, conflict. Two sides. One side of the coin and the other side of the coin, like 5. What else?
It's interesting when people are being nasty. It was like, well, it seems like almost fighting fire with fire. It seems a lot of that like violent energy. When people at each other's necks, it's like you want to invoke that sphere to like counter it. But maybe it's like you're not actually like you're like invoking armor rather than more spirits or something like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes that anger, I think, brings out compassion from other people that see how angry other people can be, so it brings the level of compassion too from those that aren't in the anger moments. You know, can see what's going on. And when the wound happens, it brings out the compassion. How do we heal this? How do we make it better? You know, in that global situation for sure.
Right. When we get a wound, we bleed red.
Almost underwater, but it was still important.
Yeah.
That underwater sometimes if you're deep enough that it actually looks green or something.
Interesting.
What is that?
I can't remember. I think it has to do with oxygen. The way it is in the water.
I think it's the lack of light. You know, you go so deep in lack of light.
Interesting. If we're on land though, and we're feeling the Mars force and we're in a battle, somebody pierces us, definitely red. At least we think it is.
Yeah. I think it brings up a good point. Well, at least for me, I sometimes, well, this is sort of a head trip, but if you think about all the physical aspects of our lives and the way our bodies are and how so much of the world is physical, but apparently this, divine creator, somehow like caused this to happen, but we go through so much as humans, especially, but also other animals and other beings go through so much. And if you think about it, I mean, I know there's some kind of, what they say, arc of the moral universe, but sometimes it seems like a lot for people to have to go through. And when you think about it that way, the word severity definitely fits, I guess.
Mm.
Why bad things happen to good people and stuff.
Yeah.
When you mention animals too, you know, I think about the bad weather or the freezing cold, like so many of them die out, you know, that kind of stuff is like super severe for that. And it kind of like makes you think, well, how can we help each other? How can we help those animals? You know, a big part of ours is the connections to, like you brought like other beings into the subject matter.
Yeah, especially nowadays with man-made climate change or what people call global warming and stuff, and like watching documentaries that are related to that can be sort of overwhelming, especially when you realize there were more animals or birds too. Like people will go to South America or something and say, wow, there were so many birds, but there used to be way more that you could just catch them with nets, and that's basically what happened. Like they just put huge nets in the sky and caught so many birds. They're basically going extinct now, just because we're greedy.
You guys said something that really kind of piqued my interest. The other. Severity is for sure the other. The other side.
Because they're like a reflection of the supernal triad, right?
Mm-hmm. The other. Yeah, the other side, the other outcome.
Republicans versus Democrats.
For sure. That's so funny. We came from the blue to the red. And they're connected by the snake. Yeah, they're connected by the snake. They're both clenching us. Teth. The letter Teth. The snake. Yeah, the other.
Legend has it that the Lucy should be grounded or created from the not forming itself in the kabbalah, and it's just unstable and fell apart. And it was too erratic and collapsed. It's a pretty unpleasant place. The other side of what came before, but maybe lingering still.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me of this class that I've been studying for, or started studying for. When we add more electrons than protons, the atom starts to become unstable, or the molecule starts to become unstable, and it wants to lose the electrons to become stable again, or something needs to happen, you know. Good. So other is definitely a 5. And when we have the masculine and feminine force of nature combined, we have another or an other human being or an other plant that starts to grow or an other thought, like a thought outside of our own. When we have a conversation, the person's like, oh, that's a really good idea. Well, what about it from this perspective? Then there's that other idea, that other awakening. So definitely the other. 5 is the other for sure. All right. So I think we did a good job on that.
I'm thinking about the Roman numeral is kind of representative of that too, because it's like the two sides and they come together here, but they're still like kind of pushing apart from each other.
Yeah. And then they meet at one point, and then they create a sharp edge, severing. That's a good one.
Because the other Roman numerals are just, you add numbers before or after the 5, so it's really in between, even with that.
That's really good. See? Even the ancients understood this stuff. 5. Where's the other side? Yeah. It's even ingrained in our bodies, guys. Isn't that crazy? It's even ingrained in our bodies and the way we're structured. See, the universe was built off of number and shape and color. Number, shape, and color. And that's what we're studying here at the end of the day is number, shape, and color. That's what the Kabbalistic tree represents. And some people even think that you can heal yourself and others through number, shape, and color. Okay? So if we can really master those powers, we can manipulate what's around us. And that's kind of at the end of the day what this work is all about. Is being able to understand this stuff at such a deep level that we can heal others, that we can manifest another side of our life. A lot of us are doing a lot of deep changes, school, Mitch and CJ doing school, Jeremy, a new job. We're trying to manifest an other life, Katharina getting all those job offers, we all have severe changes happening in our lives. And from what I hear from you guys, it all kind of started happening when you started studying tarot. Right? Right? So it's subconsciously happening without you guys even realizing it.
And kind of quickly, because it's each week, so each week you're kind of experiencing it. It's kind of like helping push those things forward more quickly.
Mars Force.
Even if you're kind of out in limbo and not really thinking about it too much.
Yeah.
You're kind of calling for it in a way, showing up, right?
We're always halfway to the other side. Kind of like last week when we talked about there's always a new height to be reached. Like right when you think you've gotten something, you're like, oh wait, there's that up there. You're always only gonna be halfway. Like if you really think about it, you know the journey's like never done. Once Jeremy gets the new job up north, he's gonna find something else. He's like, oh, this is a good position, but wait, I could be that guy. Right? Yeah. What were you gonna say, Edie?
Oh.
Okay. So yeah, it's the other. I really feel like five is just like the other. The other.
Helps you to aspire.
Aspire, aspiration, for sure. Right. That's for sure like defines the Mars force. To aspire, to become the other, to take over, to conquer. Five wants to conquer both sides. It wants to choose a side, but it's so debilitated it can't.
Yeah, that's why it's interesting that you would say other because necessarily they're outside of the status quo or the social norms, you know, and so it implies conflict. If they have an alternative, an other culture or something, that implies that there's going to be a conflict with the prevailing culture.
Right. Yeah. The Mars force represents the conflict. That's why it's assigned to five. Two sides. One doesn't balance the other. Or it tries. Is that kind of what you were saying? Or was I off?
Yeah, I think so. The conflict that is implied by having an other, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, because there's because five is halfway in between, it creates two sides. If we were at six, one side is six and one side is four.
It's like that separation happens because of a common goal. Like I don't know much about politics, thank God, but my understanding is a lot of the goals are like let's change this law or do it this way because this thing is wrong. But like the same thing is wrong essentially for both sides. They just have a different idea of how to fix it.
That's really good. So could we say that the Roman numeral, the five Roman numeral, the point is the problem, and the two sides are the different ways to solve it?
That's like the Pythagoras, the Y.
Oh yeah, yeah, the Pythagorean letter, the Y. Good. A few weeks ago, we were talking about Pythagoras and the Pythagorean Y, the Pythagorean letter, which is a Y. And if you boil down your life, you had to make a decision at some point in your life, even if you're like 3 years old and at the restaurant and your parents are like, do you want the glass of milk or do you want the water? You had to make a choice. And if you trace it all back, your whole life would create a why. This choice or that choice, this choice or that choice. The Toyota or the Ford. Right?
And then it changed the trajectory of your entire life.
Exactly. Our whole lives are built off of the Pythagorean letter, the Y. And here it is in 5, in the Roman numeral. Thank you. That was beautiful.
There's also 5 5s in pentagram.
Yep. Bailey hit on that.
Yeah.
Bailey hit on that earlier in the conversation. All right, good. That's enough for the Kabbalah. We don't want to talk too much about that because we're here for tarot. All right.
May I ask, when you said, why are you talking about the Kabbalah?
Because the 10 minor arcana line up to the 10 Sephirah.
Oh, okay.
So the guy that created the modern tarot deck actually was a Kabbalist. His name was A.E. Waite. And he was in a group called the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. And the Golden Dawn encoded their teachings inside of the tarot.
Cool.
And the tarot was then mainstreamed into society, and those that are willing can decode its mysteries. And that's what we're doing.
I like that you brought the chakra into it. Now I want to go back to like 432
why I'm trying to relate that.
Yeah. So that's something that not many people know. Okay. The guy that created the deck we study, which is this deck that we have on the counter, is the tarot deck that everybody thinks of, you know, and it's the most popular deck in the world. Okay. And it was created by A.E. Waite, who was in the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. And people see the images and they don't realize that there's this whole spiritual teaching behind it. And that's kind of what we're doing, is we're decoding it in like a very friendly manner. You know, we're not like you know, doing rituals like A.E. Waite did. Actually, A.E. Waite didn't really believe in magical stuff. He was more of a mystic. Even though he was in those groups like, you know, the Freemasons and the Golden Dawn and like, you know, all these different groups, he was more of a mystic. He was more of like a conversationalist. Like, what does this mean in our reality? What's actually happening? More of a philosopher, yeah. So we're kind of using the tarot to like learn philosophy and become like mystics and kind of understand the universe better. So thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, no, it's a good question. Thank you. It's a good first day question. Like, what is actually going on here? What are these people trying to do? That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do like mystical conversation, obviously, right?
Yeah, and I know about the this cross, the Kabbalistic cross from like the modern school, mystery school stuff, just in a different light. And so I was like, oh, I wonder what this, but hey, that's cool.
Yeah. So the fives, the minor arcana fives, are associated with severity. If we look at the images, all the images look pretty severe, don't they? Yeah, they look pretty dang severe. So we've been going through the past few weeks matching up the minor arcana with the tree. So last week we did the fours, which is mercy. And a lot of the fours look like they're giving. You know, they're having that Jupiter energy, murking. You know, they're murking their goodness onto others. Okay, cool. Good question for your first day. All right. So let's look at the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands is called the Lord of Strife. The Lord of Strife. And its astrological association is Saturn in Leo. Does anybody have anything? Does anybody want to interpret anything? Saturn in Leo. So Saturn is the restrictor. Leo is like the lion, the fire energy. Likes to be outgoing. Do you want me to close these, Bailey? Are you sure? Mitch, you okay? Okay. All right. Saturn in Leo. Do we have any astrologers in here? No? You will notice all of the fives, they all contradict each other astrologically. So Saturn and Leo, unfavorable. They contradict each other. There's two sides. There's those two sides.
Do
Go.
they contradict or do they balance?
Ooh.
Because I love earth signs.
Ooh, that's a good perspective, actually. I really like that. They kind of balance each other or contradict each other. They create that V, that point in the middle. The balancing. Justice. Justice is represented by the balance beams. I like that really a lot, actually. It's good. Okay. So Saturn and Leo could represent generosity to a point. Could represent to seek approval in others in a showy manner. Hesitancy to express their feelings. Self-discipline. We're back to the severity. Self-discipline. Sometimes it's hard for Leos to do that. They like to be the center of the show. I'm the Leo, I'm the lion. They got to have that self-discipline. Showy generosity. Negatives is suffering in seclusion. That's a negative of Saturn and Leo. When you're hurting and you're suffering, it's good to share it with others. Don't keep that stuff inside of you, or else it will hurt even more. It's okay to express your sadness. That's a downside to Saturn and Leo, is internal suffering that you're not willing to share.
I think there's a lot of spiritual bypassing going on, so people don't allow others to have those feelings. They label it as negative, which is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have a lot to do with shame. Like, Leos in particular want everyone to admire them, so if they have shortcomings. And then Saturn being structured, I would say it wants to be good at what it's doing, and if it's not, they're both feeling I'm failing at my main goal.
I like that interpretation. Yeah, internalizing shame. I like that. That's good. Another negative aspect could be disappointment in creative or love matters. Kind of like Katharina was touching on, Leos always want to be successful. So when they get disappointed, they're like, dang, I can't show that to the world. That person rejected me. You know? I don't want people to know. I asked this person on a date and they said no. That's just going to ruin my image. Leos always want to be showy. And Saturn kind of restricts that. How about a positive aspect could be creative joy, to teach creativity. Sometimes they'll have trouble expressing it themselves. Be like, hey, look at this. And then the other person can do it better. Kind of severing it. So yeah, Saturn kind of debilitates that Leo energy, or it creates to balance. Good. All right, so let's look at the tarot card. What are the characters doing? What are the characters doing in the Five of Wands? Yeah. What are they doing, guys? What are they doing?
They're just really chaotic.
Yeah, they're fighting. It's good.
I thought they looked confused.
Yeah, they kind of look confused. Kind of like Saturn and Leo, confused. Like Saturn and Leo's for sure confusing. What else?
Each way they're kind of holding it has its own expression, I think, just on how they're holding their stance, and you might be able to draw a point or something from the way that they're standing or holding their stance.
Their stance, yeah, they all have like that wide stance except for one person. The one in the very, very back has his legs closed.
Yeah, probably. He has the most stable grip, though.
He does. That's a good observation. He does.
Are they trying to make a pentagram?
They could be trying to make a pentagram. It does look like that, doesn't it?
Just like, really do.
Yeah, it kind of looks like confusion, huh? A little bit confused. I like that. That's a good point. Yeah, they are all kind of page-ish. Yeah.
Which is why it's interesting you said something about internalized shame, because I almost feel like it's not uncommon, or maybe it's something that especially adults sometimes repress shame about their own youth, or when they were less less skilled at whatever they're doing now at life, adulting, when they were more like that, or they might internalize that type of shame.
Yeah. Mitch brings up a good point. We do kind of like repress our childhood nature. It's a really good point. I almost feel like Saturn and Leo defines that repressing childhood nature. Repressing that. Look at me! When we're little kids, we want to be like, Mom, 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 look what I did. Saturn and Leo debilitates that for sure. I like that interpretation a lot. Good job, Mitch. Are you sure the light's not bothering you? Let's close that. I'm like, your glasses, just all the above. It's like, no, it's gotta go.
Here.
Excuse me, Phoenix. How you doing with the incense? You doing all right?
Weird.
Feel weird? Okay. Tarot group is strange, just in general.
Yeah, it's you guys.
That's why it's an esoteric study. Tarot is for sure esoteric. It's strange, and only a few people understand it. That's what esoteric means. Definition at hand. Strange and hard to understand. Okay, so
And all the wands are like off the ground. They aren't like in a stable point. So they're like up in the air. So it's all those ideas and those passions are up in the air as being able to change and not really planted in the ground.
Yep, no grounding, right?
yeah, there is no grounding. Yeah, that's why Saturn's trying to keep the Leo back. Saturn's trying to keep Leo back.
It's almost like all the people are Saturn and all the other part is the Leo.
So, okay, so what part would be Saturn, guys? If we were to look at this image, you know what? We're going to start looking at the cards that way. What part of this image represents Saturn?
The guy in the back in particular.
Because his is like crossed.
He looks like he knows what he's doing with that. But the others are just like, let's play swords.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
gets
for sure.
in between the two. He's like the 5 in between.
Mm-hmm. The Saturn could be them thinking that they're in conflict. Possibly. That's debilitating them.
The way the swords cross at the right vaguely looks like the symbol.
Yeah. It does, doesn't it? It does, doesn't it? Yeah, if we use our imagination on the right, it kind of looks like the Saturn. So what part would be the Leo energy? In all red with the hat?
No, the yellow guy.
The yellow guy?
Because he's like, I don't know, it's like he's commanding.
Yeah.
Like something. Yeah. Hear ye, hear ye.
Yeah. The Leo energy could be one of them thinking that they're going to win. Maybe on like a deep sense. So the conflict is the Saturn. And then one of them thinking they could win could be the Leo energy.
I think the Leo energy is them all uniquely holding the sticks in different ways. It's kind of like the attention seeking. It's like, look how I'm doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. They all want to be seen. Look at me, Mom. Yeah, that's for sure good. So they could be sparring. They could be practicing. They're definitely all creating strife and difficulty between themselves. Lord of strife. The Lord of strife. And when there's strife, there's difficulty.
And they're all wearing different outfits instead of being like coordinated with each other too. That kind of gives a subtle agreement or not.
Mm-hmm.
Fashionistas.
What?
Fashionistas.
Yeah. Some people like strife. Some people like difficulty. Some people like sparring with others. You ever meet somebody where you're like, that person just likes to argue all the time. What the heck? We can never agree on something.
Are those like the contrarians? I call them. There's a type.
Yeah, 5 is for sure contrary. 5 is for sure contrary. Contrary to opinion. Opinion, there's 2 sides. Boom, boom. So trippy, guys. So trippy.
And then also they're kind of like, there has to be some meaning with the main their landscape. I mean, it could be arguing around a table or some other space. Instead, they're arguing outside unfinished landscape. It seems like it looks unprogressed because they can't make their decision. So there's no development.
Yeah. For sure, looks like a stalemate, for sure. So that brings me up to the next question for us. Oh, does somebody have something they want to say? Make sure you're looking at these as well. Yeah, you can always pick it out of the deck. Yeah, can everybody see? Is everybody good? Can all see? Okay. Why are all the wands touching? Why are they all touching? If we look closely, they're all kind of connected. Like the guy on the left is connected to the guy in the middle. The guy in the middle is connected to the guy on the right. And they're all kind of connected.
Because that energy is just kind of like just one, so it's like one flame.
Mm-hmm.
I think we touched on that. If you put them all together, like if you move the guy on the left sword over, it would turn into a star, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that this card, could be seen as like they're fighting, but if they just learn how to work together cohesively, it would be a beautiful thing. So it's like what we were talking about earlier too with COVID. It's like it can create massive conflict, but it can also, like with the same people, bring them together.
Yeah. Good job. And why are they all connected? Why are all the wands connected? What do you guys think? There's no right or wrong answers, guys. We're all here to explore each other's minds. We're all looking at the same thing with different perspectives. So it makes this group beautiful.
It has to do with the fact that conflict is not individual or independent thing, but all parties to the conflict, there's some responsibility in that conflict's existence. You know what I mean? So they're all touching the wands because they all have some responsibility for the ultimate
That's good. That brings us back to like that Republican, Democrat looking at the same thing but thinking 2 different solutions to the problem. It's good, Mitch. Yeah. That's so funny you say that. Yeah. Strife is locked in pattern thinking and debilitating, which is binding. When we can't decide on a solution, it binds us. Good.
I was going to mention earlier, there's something called a double bind too, where like a mother might want her kid to eat the vegetables. So she's like, well, you can either have the broccoli or the corn. And they're like, I guess I'll have the corn, rather than not having either. A double bind is like two options you don't really want to do either, but you have to choose one.
Yep. Rock in a hard place. Rock in a hard place. What else? Before I give you guys what I think. Anybody? Why are the wands touching?
Maybe it's showing the intention that they want to grow together because they're all touching, but
Yeah,
they don't know how it fits.
I like that. They all want to practice.
Yeah.
They all want to get better, but they're still having that showy mentality. Rather than taking a knee and being like, oh, you know, I'm just going to lose this one. They all want to be the Leo. They all want to be the winner. They all want to be the number one, and that's what's debilitating them. Have any of you guys ever done martial arts? CJ? Okay. You know how when you're like practicing and you're just getting your butt handed to you? Sometimes you learn more when you lose. You know how to not do it. You're like, okay, I'm not going to put my hand there anymore because it's going to be broken. I'm going to keep it more inside. None of them want to lose and learn. They all want to win.
But it brings out curiosity, like how did that person do that?
Yeah, for sure. The Saturn debilitated you, but the Leo brings out that, how do I not do that again? That's good. So strife is disagreement, stagnation of community. Argument creates lack of movement. When you're arguing, nobody's really moving. They're like, I'm going to stick to my guns. Kind of what's happening in this picture. You know? They're all kind of like stuck.
Facing each other there. Like the horses moving that way or this.
Yeah, they're all kind of stuck. No one is moving, which lacks flow. 5 doesn't have any flow. 5 does not flow. It's debilitating.
And when you actually take the two sticks together, it actually creates that fire too.
So some divination interpretations for this card. So let's move past the mystical talk and move to divination. So if we get this card in a reading, could mean, what do you guys think it could mean? Divinatory wise. Got any insight?
Just thinking chaos.
Yeah,
Chaos was the first thought I had.
for sure. What else?
Time to make a decision. Fix something.
For sure. Disagreement. For sure.
Yeah, it could be with yourself, with others, I would say. You're having conflict with others or with yourself, or just trying to put some ideas together that you're going through to come up with a solution or something. So just depending on what it is that their subject matter is, I think is really pulled towards what you'd say.
Losing your temper, you know, don't maybe there's potential for you to get very upset or somebody's trying to get your goat or something.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's clear skies, so there's clear skies ahead of you and heading to your way, the solution's out there. It's just making you past this one point. Hopefully.
Making it past this one point.
So,
Could mean that you need to like step away from an argument, even if you're right. You think you're right. It's like not worth it.
Yeah. It's okay to not be the Leo. Leo's got it rough. You can't have 5 Leos in one room. That's a really good point. They're all gonna fight with each other, just like in here.
It's a thing. Whenever I'm in a room with another Leo, we have to size each other up and like, who's in charge here? It's a silent thing, but it's like, okay, who has seniority? Like, you don't want too many Leos in a room.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. That makes a lot of sense. Who's a Leo in here? Just Katharina. All right, good. Woo. Wipe the sweat off your brow. Awesome. Maybe a long battle to riches. They all want to be the knight, right, Mitch? They all want to be number one. A long battle. You know what else is a long battle? The journey of life. The journey of life. Geez, don't we all kind of feel like this sometimes? Like locked in position with all these other people? You know, you say one thing to somebody, hey, I think I want to go into accounting. And then your mom and dad are like, huh, you're going to be an accountant. And you're like, oh man, maybe I just want to be a tarot guy. They're going to stick you to it. Battle of life.
Also maybe saying there might be a lot of passions that you have, and it's just kind of like finding a place for each of those.
Mm-hmm. Leo's passionate, for sure. Good job. Yeah. Finding our spots for our passions. I like that.
You know what it looks like to me is a rites of passage going on, and they're all just sent out, and you don't know what they're doing. Just some kind of rites of passage. If they're younger, like pages, like you were saying. It's not like a bunch of older people or anything. It's just like young lads out there exploring what they're supposed to be doing next or something. I don't know.
I like that a lot. Rite of passage. Competition. I actually had that written down. Competition.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, with competition, there's rite of passage. I like that rite of passage.
Like, here, guys, go hunt down a deer with these. Well, geez, how do we do that?
Kind of like a winner takes all situation. Winner takes all.
Maybe even high jumping with it.
Good job. I like that. Rite of passage. It's a really good interpretation. Yeah, with the journey of life, there's rite of passage. We're all going to be severed from life eventually. It's a rite of passage.
And I also put in like everybody has like a strong, legitimate point because, or the ideas are each equally strong because it isn't like it's a half stick or broken sticks or anything like that. Each of them are just as strong as the other with how the sticks are in growth and in good shape. You know, each of those ideas are good ideas.
That's very true. They all have the equal sword. No one sword is bigger or stronger than the other. Good. All right. Does anybody have anything else they want to add to divination? So, battle to riches, rite of passage, becoming knighthood, journey of life, stalemate. Yup, stalemate. It's a good divination interpretation. What else did we say?
Maybe the word struggle too.
Struggle. Yup, strife, struggle. All right. So say we get this next to the Hermit. Say we get this card next to the Hermit. What would we think?
Is it before or after the card?
Well, just the two together.
Maybe that you're going through some decisions, but you'll find the light and be able to share that with others.
Good.
Those decisions are. If it's after.
Yeah, you got to make a hard choice. The Hermit's all about making the path.
And then also if you have the Hermit on the other side, you might feel like you're in a good space. You're, in a good space up there. You have your set way in mind to be, but something's going to be coming through, and some of those decisions are going to be jumbled.
Good. All right. Who else has an interpretation? If it's next to the hermit.
Lack of focus, maybe not meditating often enough, and your thoughts are scattered.
Good. Scattered thoughts. Nice. Not being able to find your path. Nice. I like that. What else?
Maybe you have like ideas that you want to share with other people, but you're not clear enough on what that idea is in order to share it in a meaningful way.
Good. Yeah, the hermit shining the light so others can see. Good.
I was thinking maybe projecting a perceived conflict onto external, what is actually internal. So sort of similar.
Nice. Good job, Mitch.
I think with both of those, it's like having your own thoughts be really like unclear and stagnated without affecting the view of the world. Or it could be like floating around like everything. The world is like stagnating you like that, so you need time for yourself to clear things up.
Yeah, internal conflict. Good. Internal conflict if it's next to the hermit. Good. I like that. That's great.
Is this reading for me? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we're reading your mind. We're reading your mind. No, we're glad you're here. We hope you come back. We hope we don't scare you off. We usually, huh? We usually do. We usually never, like, I would probably say 1 out of 4 people stay. So for every 4 people that come in, only 1 stays. It's not for everybody. It's okay. It's okay if you do get scared off. It's okay.
It's neat that you're matching it with your current path, because that's kind of how we noticed when we're sharing at the beginning, like, oh, our past week we just experienced some of the stuff in relation with the cards. So if it's hidden there, it just kind of shows that it's kind of hidden right on here. It's your time for these cards.
They were describing the astrology for one of the cards, and it was like my ex-girlfriend perfectly.
Well, you know what? We're studying life through the tarot. So it's not surprising that you're like, wow, this kind of sounds a lot like what's going on with me. It's okay. And if it's too much and too scary, it's okay. I was speaking with somebody that came in a little early today, and they're like, oh, I'm a little nervous about being here. It's okay if you got to step away for a week or 2 and come back for a number you're comfortable with. You don't have to come to every session. It's not, I'm the only person that's obligated to be here every time. I'm the only one. So it's okay. All right. So does anybody have anything else they want to say about the 5 of Wands? That's kind of what they're doing. They're kind of all in a race with each other. Saturn and Leo. Poor Saturn and Leo. I feel bad for Leos and Saturn.
The fact that it's a Wands card is probably bringing out that Leo even more with the fire.
Yeah.
It looks like a bunch of Leos.
It does. They all want to be, Mom, look at me. Just imagine the king, queen, and prince and princess on the side, kind of watching the battle. Oh, who's going to win? The royal court, they're there, you just can't see them. The royal court is watching these guys.
I think too, there's almost a subtle agreement, almost partially, because if you go back to the clothing, 3 of them are wearing like green pants, the others are wearing 2 reds.
Mm-hmm.
Some are wearing the yellow, in agreement. So it's kind of like bringing those colors together. It shows that they're in process of it. And which ones might be in agreement with others.
What's up with the guy with the hat though? What is that?
You know what? That's so funny. I wrote that in the notes.
I kept looking at it like.
That's so funny. I wrote that in the notes. What do you guys? We're gonna do this one last question, then move on from the ones. What do you guys think about the guy in the hat? What do you think that represents? Good. We have a.
But he's also got the only different kind of footwear because other people there's a pair of yellow boots and yellow shoes, and then red boots and red shoes, and then he has green boots and there's no green shoes.
It's also facing him and the guy with the polka dot are facing each other, and they're the only ones with like
So true.
He's right in the middle and he looks like he has no idea what's going on.
He looks the most aggressive.
He looks aggressive. Well, the red, right?
Maybe he's looking down at his hands, not at somebody to hit. He looks down like he's confused and like, where did the stick come from?
Yeah, he's kind of like, wow, it's mine.
Maybe he's less open because the hat's on there, where the other ones are more open. The one guy has that white band around, and the one on the left, I like the magician has.
Unless he's sword fighting with the guy in the polka dots.
I know, I was wondering if those two were kind of going at
Yeah, this is a defensive posture. I don't know if you guys ever studied martial arts, but this is defensive.
Is it?
Yeah, this is, karate or whatever, you know. This is defensive. You are defending when you're doing this.
His hands are awfully close together to be defensive.
I don't know what they're doing.
That's what I think.
He's like,
They're
I'm
too close?
admiring the stick.
Especially for a stick that big. You want
Right, you would want that more wide, and I guess you're right. But still, this is kind of,
He's showing his
He's a-
naivety.
He's a
because
page.
oh, don't hit this one, it's supposed to be like that.
He's wearing a hat. He doesn't even know you're not supposed to wear a hat.
yeah, that's gonna fall off real quick, huh? In a battle or in a practice. Yeah, losing his head.
At first, when I looked at this picture, I thought it was hair for some reason. From a distance, even in that one with the frame, I didn't see the head until I got it burnt in my hand. And I saw it up here. I thought he had like finger hair.
All right, good job, guys. All right, we're gonna move on to the Five of Cups. What?
Oh no, I was laughing at myself because I didn't really add anything to the conversation or answer your question, but you still said good job, so thank you.
Hey, that's part of being a guy is telling people good job.
You should get those stickers that say like nice work. I almost bought that for myself.
Don't worry, we're gonna do another graduation at the end of this.
Oh, can I have a sticker?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll start doing gold stars. All right, gold star. Leo.
I don't
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Teasing you, Gracie. I know. Actually, what is everybody's sign? What is everybody's sign? Let's just go around. What are you?
Pisces.
Pisces, Libra, Sagittarius, Aries, Aries, okay. Leo.
I'm a Sagittarius.
Capricorn.
Oh, fun. We have a lot of fire energy in here. That's wild. I'm a Cancer. Am I the only water sign here? Holy crap. Oh no, you're a Pisces. That's right, 2 water signs. A lot of fire in here. 1 earth sign.
I'm grounding this whole room, okay?
That's why you feel so weird. That's why she feels so out of it. Like, what the heck are these people doing?
5 hours from Taurus.
5 hours from
Well,
Taurus.
I do the weird system. In the normal system, I'm straight Taurus.
So are you a Taurus or?
I'm astrological sign fluid. So it's like true sidereal astrology, which uses like true positioning of those things, and it counts with precession of the equinox and Aries about 5 hours or something.
Okay,
The
cool.
standard everyone uses Taurus.
What
Isn't
one is
there another
missing?
sign in the sidereal?
What signs are missing?
I think we've covered all the elements.
Aquarius?
There are a few signs missing.
I mean, we've all got plenty of other signs in our charts. That
Yeah, we all have all the signs, but I'm just talking about sun. Like what you were born with under the sun. We're missing quite a few. Yeah. We are. There's a lot of people out of town. We usually have like 5 more people here. 4 or 5 more. So we usually have a much bigger group. This is kind of a smaller group. But it's your first day here. You don't know what you're walking into. Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the 5 of Cups. This is called the Lord of Loss and Pleasure. Lord of Loss and pleasure. And it is Mars and Scorpio. Another well, actually, they're not contradictory. Mars is. Doesn't it shine the brightest in Scorpio? Or, like, isn't Mars the ruler of Scorpio or something? Yeah, that's what I think. Mars is the ruler of Scorpio. So Mars actually feels at home in Scorpio. Mars and Scorpio could represent. Wait, I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think Mars and Scorpio represents? Anybody? I know astrology's hard. Mars and Scorpio could represent revenge. Yeah. It could represent being faced with a real challenge to warrant action. Once in motion, Mars in Scorpio has infinite energy. And it will bulldoze other people down. Scorpio, sting. You step on me, I will sting you. But I'm not going to move unless you step on me.
What do you say again? A real challenge?
Okay. Must be faced with a real challenge to warrant action. So, if the scorpion's about to be stepped on, it's going to sting the bottom of your foot. It's going to be like, I'm about to get stepped on, I'm going to sting you. But if you stay across the room from the scorpion, you're over there, I'm over here. I'm not going to sting you. We're cool. So it has to be faced with a real challenge to move.
So it's a defensive energy.
Yeah, it's a defensive energy. Good. Mars and Scorpio, one of two extremes. You're over there, I'm over here. We're on top of each other, something's going to happen. So it's an all or nothing combination. It's an all or nothing combination. The other. One or the other. All or nothing. One or the other. Mars and Scorpio could represent joint ventures. Could represent change in impossible situations. Mars and Scorpio is devotion and loyalty. Devotedly loyal. Could also represent passionate and hate. Mars and Scorpio, passionately hateful. Which is extreme action. So it represents extreme action.
I just found out I'm a Mars and Scorpio.
Really?
Its dad says passionate intensity and assertion of self.
Assertion of self. There we go. Assertion of self. Ha! Scorpions definitely assert themselves. You know when a scorpion is there. If you're looking on the ground, it's like, holy crap, there's a scorpion. Stay away from that. It's asserting itself. Cool. Extreme action. One or the other. Why are the cups tipped over? And why are two upright?
I think it's the loss of pleasure you were saying, because yeah, there's an opportunity for him to, or this individual to continue to drink or whatever, imbibe from these cups. But at this moment, there's also three that are, they're upset and their conscience is spilled out. So yeah, I mean, someone lost, but you can still, take sustenance from others.
Yeah, good.
And like three emotions are emptied, but then the emptiness leaves room to be refilled.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
Yeah.
the other two are upright, so it's just finding the right way to bring it back up.
Good job. Right. It's hard to tell because they're turned away.
Yeah.
I think with the other cards, a lot of the symbols are kind of all together, like all the wands, all the pentacles, the swords are kind of compiled together. And this one, I think it's a nice separation of like the 2 and 3 become the 5, and how he's focused on the larger amount that was lost versus the smaller amount that still will bring him forward.
Yeah,
So it's like the 2 versus 1.
for sure.
It's interesting to think why they fell over, you know, like whether he kicked them or whether they were too full and fell over. So symbology is interesting.
Why do you think they fell over?
It just depends, I guess, whatever you're drawing when you're reading for the person to figure out maybe anger knocked them over, mad at it, or did they just all of a sudden overflow and he had no choice that it just happened.
You guys ready for my interpretation?
Yeah.
It was a mishap of ritual. It was a mishap of ritual. Doesn't it kind of look like a pentagram? And then you see that line separating him from the river? He was trying to perform a magical act. And it,
Now I just gotta watch out for what bad ghosts or something like a bridge.
he's like in a circle. He surrounded himself with a pentagram of cups. And he screwed up. And the magic he was trying to perform messed up. And when you mess up in ritual, it's a loss of pleasure. Something bad's gonna happen. You tried to do a magical spell, and you messed up a very fine detail, and now you got bad juju on the way. Your cups are knocked over. You guys gotta be very careful if you start messing around with that stuff. Very, very careful. Make sure you're learning from somebody or a system that knows what they're doing. Yeah, mishap and ritual, that's what I think. Because it's kind of like a pentagram. You see that? Yeah, mishap and ritual.
Or sad, or tragic.
Yeah.
I like you tend to pay attention studies for what matters most in rituals. Like your intentions are good, that's more important than if you're just absent-mindedly going through the motions. If you just screw up your pentagram a little bit, maybe screw energy a little bit, but it's not as important as like being focused. This person's like staring at what's like knocked over, and they're probably prone to like step backwards and knock the other two over because they're like, oh, this is a real downer. You're forgetting about like what's right behind them.
Right. Intention. Misguided intention. Good.
Also looking at the past, maybe things that didn't work out, and you still got something that turns to the right,
Yeah. Good. So that kind of brings us to the next question. Why is the person looking away from the 2 upright cups?
Those are kind of like already settled or set, and so the one that's swelling are the ones of concern.
Yeah. Unsatisfied.
not grateful.
Blind to possibility. Greed. Good. What does the bridge and the house represent? So if you guys see the house and the bridge, what does it represent? The bridge is in the very back on the right, right above that cup on the right. See the water, follow the water to the very back of the picture. There's a bridge. How about opportunity? Got to step outside the pentagram circle for the opportunity. What else do you guys think?
Maybe something with femininity. I almost feel like he had to cross over that bridge, or this person had to cross over that river and away from the house to do whatever is going on here, and is intentionally. I mean, it has insight, this like river of that law, the universal law, and also the house that is more of a, I don't know, like welcoming, nice place, but he's definitely not there for him. But it's an opportunity, like you said, go back across the bridge.
Yeah, for sure. Good job.
And it seems like he has a connection to home, And I find it interesting that the bridge is there going across, because normally when you want to be in the flow of water, you're like, flow, flow of life, you're going this way. And it seemed like he seemed settled in the spot. And so that bridge kind of like, this is the spot I kind of settled at, and that's the bridge spot. Rather than it being, I don't know. He seems broken from it and away from it.
Yeah.
Has it settled? And because also the bridge is almost like a blockade in some sense of some of the stuff too.
Yeah, separation for sure. Good. So divination, what do you guys think it means? Getting the mystical stuff out of the way, then we can better understand the divination. What do you guys think? How about ritual gone awry?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody messed up some type of ritual, whether it's their routine. You know, we wake up, brush our teeth, go to work. That's a ritual.
I was also kind of drawn to like the hermit with this card because of the long black cape, and it seemed like he's being exposed, like his hood is off, and he's kind of like exposed himself a little bit more to the world, and as it did, these things kind of like knocked over where he might have been set in his ways, and that because he removed his cape, it's showing that he's sharing this experience. But it's been there for a while because he seems like he's older because of the very white hair. So it has a sense of set in ways and with his emotions, and then all of a sudden they just got knocked over.
Thank you.
Exposed.
That's good. Lost with leftovers. You lose some, but there's still some left over. How about a mess of emotion? They get it in a reading. There's a mess of emotion. Or go ahead.
Oh, I just said, I'll just make a mess out. Emotion percent. I saw this.
Yeah, it's a feminine card.
You got a lot of,
Yeah.
His feelings. I was thinking about this. Maybe feeling his feelings right now. That's good.
A mess of emotion. This is for sure a feminine card. Cups are all feminine. It's a feminine energy. Mess of emotions. Huh? Rumination.
Yeah.
Rumination. Good word. I'm gonna write that down. What does that mean?
Stewing.
Running over something in your head. Usually.
Good. Frustration in a marriage. Frustration in a marriage. Yeah, we can all think of something people get frustrated about in a marriage. One partner loves it, the other doesn't. Think of many things. A bitter relationship means a bitter relationship. Oh, it's okay. We all have them. Bitter. So if we get it next to the star card, what do you guys think? If we get this next to the star.
Has a sense of maybe picking up two of those cups and washing the water back and forth so you can balance those emotions with that. So the star card's kind of after or even before. I don't know, it's kind of giving you an idea to maybe how you come up with that solution with us finding balance.
Yeah, the star is tipping over 2 cups into the river. Maybe letting things go. Letting the cups go. Don't have resentment towards that relationship. Letting the ritual or the pattern that you were trying to accomplish, let it be. What if we got it next to the emperor? What do you guys think about the emperor?
Maybe someone's been harsh to you, and because things were supposed to be that certain way, like the emperor's energy of that. It was a little bit, you having to rearrange things, and it hit him a emotionally.
Maybe don't give up on that discourse of emotion. Take charge. Take charge of the frustration in the marriage.
Yeah, I was thinking, don't be too stern or stoic or close off from what you're feeling.
Yup. Open it up. It's good. Express how you feel with your frustration.
With this card next to the star, I feel like it could even create like a story of like, I don't know, like maybe those 3 cups filled. You still have those 2 cups, but maybe it's not the best idea to still focus on the positive that's still there. Maybe the negative does outweigh it, so you can still take that positive and kind of let go of it and move on from the situation.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on. Definitely moving on. Good job, guys. Does anybody have anything else they want to add for the 5 of Cups?
I'll just say that 2 red in the green spot. So if you relate that to the root chakra, so it might be relating with home stuff with the root chakra and your foundation, and then the green for the love. And then because it's right in front of the house too, kind of like shows that maybe it's in relation with home and love. And so,
Good.
I also want to add the black cloak, just for me, like, is symbolic of being all encompassed in sadness, and how like that looming feeling can kind of take over you, and how he's all like trying to pent up and just like stuck in this feeling. Or she, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But also when I first see this card, like the first thing I think of is like, are you okay? Like they're kind of like hoping maybe somebody will come from behind to like help catch them, to not knock the other 2 down, and like just kind of like help them realize like what's going on, not to like get sucked into that feelings.
Yeah. Frustration in a marriage, you need to ask your partner or in a relationship, are you okay? The vibe isn't right. What's going on? What's going on, dear? What's going on, babe? You know, what's going on? Good.
and his directions tilted to the path. I mean to the past. So you know, if it's lined up here, if he's facing this way, it's for the future. As one way of looking at it. And because he's facing backwards, he's kind of like reflecting on the past stuff. So it's good to show that there's hope because the 2 cups are standing in the future.
You know, also because he's facing the other way, it's almost like he's a little bit unwilling for help. He looks like he needs help, but he's not open to it because you see his back.
Good. I like that. Yeah. Lack of receptivity to what can be. Lack of receptivity to what can be.
Me, it feels like a loss of abundance, and just taking a moment by yourself to grieve before you have to start over again with the 2 that you have left.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Good job, guys. We're really thinking. All right, let's zip through these last 2 in 20 minutes. All right, so now we're going to talk about the 5 of Swords. And this is the Lord of Defeat. These are so grim. Man, I can't wait for the 6s. Jeez. Lord of Defeat.
Is there a light that turns on?
Yeah, go ahead, flick it on. It's that little button on the altar there.
On the altar?
Yeah, go ahead, Phoenix. Thank you.
On the altar.
On the altar, there's a little button on the right-hand side in the very back.
Oh.
You see that?
Oh, yes. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Phoenix. Excellent. Thank you for coming in, by the way. Like I said, I hope we don't scare you away.
I'm very scared.
Our psychic energy. We're reading her mind. All right. As a group. No. Okay, so Lord of Defeat. Venus in Aquarius. What do you guys think that means? Venus in Aquarius.
Weird.
Yes. Very weird. That is a weird combo. All these are weird combos except for Mars and Scorpio. But it's still weird. Because Scorpio is just weird. Okay.
It's going back a little bit. I feel like it's still a little weird for the cups because it sounds like Mars and Scorpio would be a very like intense energy, but the card looks very like mellow, kind of chilled out.
It could go either way.
Which is still weird.
It really could go either way. The tipped over cups could go either way. It could go either way. What were you saying again about Mars and Scorpio tipped over cups?
Yeah, just that Mars and Scorpio seems like a very intense, passionate energy, but the card itself looks very like laid back and like a kind of like chill and like reflect on what happened kind of thing.
Yeah,
Rather than taking that initially.
it is kind of a card of reflection. Kind of like grieving the past, maybe. Kind of like what Amy was saying, grieving the past rather than seeing what is still there. Does anybody have anything else they want to say about the card? This is an open discussion. Thank you for backtracking. It's okay. We can backtrack.
Just like grief involves anger.
Yeah, grief and anger. Grief and sadness, loss. Loss and pleasure. So sometimes there's pleasure in loss. Like, I'm so glad I'm not dealing with that person at work anymore. You lose them, but there's pleasure in that. Or, oh man, this is going to sound terrible. If you have a family member you do not like and they pass away, you're like, oh my gosh, that person is gone. That weight is lifted off my shoulders. I have a family member like that. I will feel a huge weight off my shoulders when my dad passes away. I hate to say it, but it's going to feel good. All right. Does anybody have anything else they want to say?
Like the positive considerations, like looking at the three cups on that corner. I think that Mars and Scorpio is very like really like driving after like deep, important things, like the spiritual, the philosophical, the things personal. So I never considered like the positives of like Mars is empty. How do I feel about it?
Right. For sure. Feeling. How does it feel to have empty cups? Sometimes it feels good. It feels really good to have empty cups sometimes. Man, that responsibility's gone. That feels good. Woo! Don't have to deal with that anymore. Loss and pleasure. Loss in pleasure. Kind of a weird combo, but it makes a lot of sense. All right, we're going to move on. Five of Swords, Lord of Defeat, Venus in Aquarius, which could represent detachment. Weird. When something's weird, detach. Detaching something from another thing. Venus in Aquarius is friends with almost everyone and most persons. Venus in Aquarius needs a lot of freedom in their relationships. But once their freedom is found, they have lots of devotion. So Aquarius needs to feel free. And once they have that freedom in a relationship, they give it all that Venus energy, which is love, being with that one thing. So tenacious devotion once they find their freedom. Mental stimulation. Aquarians love mental stimulation. And to be stimulated is to become one with something, which is Venus, becoming one with something. Union. And if the Aquarius doesn't have that freedom, they're going to leave. They're going to leave. Venus and Aquarius can be promiscuous. So if they don't feel like they are free, they will go behind your back and find that freedom other ways. which is kind of devious. It's kind of devious, and devious is deviation. And when there's deviation, there's freedom. Right?
Reminds me of something I was reading about how nonconformity is sort of the heart of democracy. Freedom and deviation.
Yeah. Deviation also expands boundary, if you really think about it. Pushing the limits. Deviation pushes the limits. And Aquarians are all about pushing the limits. That is literally what they do. It bugs the hell out of me too. If something's good, an Aquarian will come along and be like, yeah, that's good, but we're actually going to change it. And they'll change everything around and it will not be as good. That is my pet peeve about Aquarians. And they think they're always right. They think they're always right. I'm sorry, I'm going to go hard on Aquarius because there aren't any Aquarius here. It's okay. All right. But they're also very creative. They're very artistic. Okay. So they have creative and artistic beauty. They are really good at interchanging friends to lovers and lovers to friends. So there's that promiscuous attitude again. Venus and Aquarius, they'll play around with that. Oh, we're going to make love, but we're just friends. They like to play that boundary. I can think of a couple Aquarius that are like that. Negative. Somebody that's promiscuous has detached feelings. Somebody that's promiscuous has detached feelings. To be promiscuous, you kind of have to have like detachment, right? To an extent. You could have deep love, but you also are like, well, I'm going to go spend time with this person now and detach from you for a while. So you're going to have that little play. And the sign itself, Aquarius, is 2 lines. That's detachment, but also having that form to it. By nature, the Aquarius symbol is like that, if you really think deeply about it. If you meditate on the astrological symbols, they will reveal their true meaning to you. They will reveal their true meaning to you. Okay. So detachment of contact with others, which we kind of talked about, detachment within relationships, and which represents Aquarius's isolation. Because they think they're always right, it creates isolation. If you are promiscuous and not everybody knows about it, you will become isolated. Nobody's going to want to be with you if they're not down with it. You know, you go behind your lover's back and you hang out with somebody else, and then your girlfriend or boyfriend finds out about it, and then the person you cheated with or, you know, had another relationship with finds out about it, neither one's going to want to be with you. It always happens like that. So that creates isolation. Okay. So why is the man in the forefront of the image collecting the swords? There's only one question for this. Why is the man in the forefront collecting the swords?
Pride.
Hmm? Pride, yeah.
It feels like he hasn't given up yet.
Hasn't given up yet.
He's the winner?
He's the winner, good. Or why are the people walking away while he's collecting the swords? Yeah, greed for sure. That's that promiscuous, going behind your lover's back type of thing.
Plus too, because the swords are, one symbology there is of thought, of thinking, and so maybe there was a lot of different thoughts going on.
Yeah.
And those two didn't really want to hear it anymore, and he's like, I'm just gonna take my thoughts somewhere else.
Yeah, for sure.
So he's collecting his swords and just like, but at the same time, I was like, I had a sense though that maybe he's bringing the swords and, hey, you guys want to play it? Or you're like, no. Or not like, no.
Mhm. Well, go ahead. Go ahead. No. I want to hear what you guys have to say.
Almost as if he disarmed those two. The one in the back, especially, he seems pretty upset that. He looks like he's crying with his hands. He's ashamed or something. And the other guy's just walking away. And then the man with the swords, he's got all 5 disarmed. It was like he took their ideas along. And it's like, yeah, all me. I'm genius.
Yeah, for sure. There's some type of intellectual gain and defeat. There's like some type of gain and defeat for sure.
It's that isolation because he's won, but now those two guys are walking off, so he's alone with his demons.
Yeah, there is that isolation there. Good job.
I get the vibe of like they knew when to stop, and he like if somebody else walked up could keep going.
Why are they facing the water? Why are the two people facing the water?
They're emotional.
They're more in the flow with things. They knew when to stop. They're in the flow, but he doesn't. So he's still stuck in that mindset of we.
Good job. They gave up on their intellect and they're turning to their emotions. Good job, Phoenix. So, sacrifice of personal ideals and belief. Sacrifice of intellect. Sacrifice of what you think is right. Taking a knee. When you're in a relationship with somebody and they cheat on you, you're like, we were so right together, but you did that. Now I gotta walk away. Right? Right? We're so right. Now it's wrong. I'm gonna go inward and cry. Okay. So why? Oh, I guess I have more questions for you guys. Why is the guy collecting the swords not in a defensive position? I mean, an attacking position. Like, why isn't he attacking, but rather like just like, yeah, these are mine. Why is he like that?
Pretty hard to defend with that many swords.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, why do you need that many swords? You only have 2 hands, but he's got 3.
There's a certain level, I'll go find somebody else to fight with. Who'll fight with me.
We can both be promiscuous. It'll be the perfect match.
I don't know. His face was like Beavis and Butthead. And he's like, haha, I won. You guys get out of here.
Yeah.
It looks like butthead, dude.
Yeah, well.
I knew it's more Beavis personally.
Yeah.
It's definitely antagonistic for sure. It's like flippant, antagonistic. It's very Aquarian. I'm sorry, I'm just going hard on Aquarius today. Obviously, I'm a big fan. Sorry, guys. I usually don't go hard on signs like that.
Yeah, what if the people that aren't here find out that they're Aquarian?
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? Nobody in our group is Aquarius. Now,
Natalie was Aquarius.
she hasn't been coming.
Yeah, because you're talking about it.
She hasn't been coming. She hasn't been coming.
I didn't know she was on vacation or not.
She's okay. Well, I guess I'll tell you guys. She thought she was above paying, and that's why she is not here. She was pulling an Aquarius on us. She thought she could break the rules, and so she's not here anymore. There are some of us that don't even work, that pay dues, and she thought she was above that, and she works. So I told her, I said, you have to make a decision. Is this worth the $10 to hang out and talk, or is it not? And she decided that she didn't want to pay. And I said, okay, well, you can't come. She was pulling an Aquarius on us, and that's not okay. So, that being said, that's why she's not here. She thought she could break the rules or create her own rules, and that's not okay. So,
Just seems like whack.
kind of what?
Like lack.
Lack?
$10. It's not 100.
Yeah, you can't even buy a burrito and go out to eat for $10.
Think about how much an hour the therapist costs.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Be
It's
like
an
150 or
energy exchange.
$500.
He's sharing knowledge, so it's like that's weird to not pay.
See, now we're all trashing Aquarius.
Yeah.
Natalie.
I think you should write that on the website. Not every website.
No Aquarians allowed. There have been a couple Aquarius that have actually come to our group and caused trouble. This is not the first one. Okay? I've had to ask another Aquarius to not come in. This is a pattern. They like to bend the rules. They like to push the limits. It's just in their personality.
Spices things up.
It does, but it causes a lot of turbulence. Ding, 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 ding. It causes a lot of turbulence. Like, literally the sign itself is turbulent. It's edgy.
As an Aquarius, that makes sense. I cause problems for myself.
It's literally edgy. That's what I'm telling you guys. If you meditate on the symbols, they will reveal their true meaning. Bring the symbol into your mind and meditate with it, and it will tell you everything about it. All right? Okay.
Also, this card has the wind going, so it's very like pushing.
Right.
Yeah.
So keeping a stance against the wind and it's pushing the waters. It kind of pushes you.
It's like fluffy cloud. It's dragon cloud.
Yeah.
It's like jagged cloud. It's not a fluffy cloud. It's a chemtrail. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's cloudy. Edgy. It's on the edge of being good or bad. On the edge of a storm. Stormy skies. Honestly, I don't think Venus really likes that. Venus likes everything going good, everything flowing well. Venus wants to make the connection, but she can't because Aquarius makes it too damn hard.
They really do. I have a friend. She made it really hard.
There, we're back to trash and Aquarius, guys.
I had to stop being friends with her. She just wasn't. I don't know. I couldn't deal. I'm Capricorn. I'm like, this is too. I don't know.
My mom's a Capricorn, my brother's an Aquarius. They're working on it.
They're working on it. Okay, see? They cause problems. Aquarians cause problems. We're in the Aquarian age.
Oh no.
We are. No, everything is changing. Social norms are changing, religious norms are changing, spiritual norms are changing. There's going to be a lot of conflict coming up here in the next couple hundred years. Yeah. And then aren't we in the age of the Capricorn after that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think we. What?
Capricorn's before Aquarius in the horoscope.
The procession moves backwards through the.
Oh, it goes backwards.
Yeah, so it went last we were in Pisces. Jesus was trying to get us in touch with our feelings. Okay? Now Aquarius is here to mix it up, cause some commotion. And then Capricorn is going to settle it down and ground us.
Yes. Let's do
And you know what's weird? Astrologers thousands of years ago predicted that humans would not be on Earth in the age of the Capricorn. We are going to move beyond the Earth in the next 2,000 years, grounding us to a new planet, to a new existence. Yeah, this is real stuff. Thousands of years ago, the astrologers were like, humans are not going to be on Earth in the age of the Capricorn. Go ahead, CJ.
Well, do you think that's literal or metaphorical? Because Aquarius is very much about like technology and advancement, and perhaps it's just like, well, we're just like on the internet now rather than like being on Earth, you know?
Could also be that there's just no humans left.
Or people that,
Is it probably exist in VR in like float tanks or something?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. The oxygen is going to become so dense with CO2 that we're just going to be like on brain machines. Like a sci-fi movie.
It sounds bad now.
Just wait.
It sounds like the World Economic Forum. You'll have nothing, you'll be happy.
We'll be living forever, guys.
Bugs don't taste
You'll
that
be hooked up to
bad.
the computer and you'll live forever.
We'll have tarot group over the computer. We all just have to reincarnate.
No, we will be the tarot.
We will be in what?
We will be the tarot.
Yeah. We will be the tarot.
We will be them.
Yeah, we'll be all the archetypes inside of here. We already are. We just express them differently. Some days we're the emperor. Some days we're the empress. Some days we're the tower. Okay, cool. This is a really good conversation. You guys see how the swords are pointed as above, so below? You guys see that? One's pointing up, one's pointing down.
I think there's 2 pointing up, right?
2 pointing up, yeah. 2 pointing up, 1 pointing down. Still the as above, so below type of stuff. Divination. We're gonna zip through this so we can take a break. Unless you guys want to take a break now. You guys want to take a break? How you feeling? How's everyone feeling? Indifferent? We all a little drained today. We all feeling a little 5. It's okay. We're gonna express our emotions in numbers now. Now that we've studied the numbers, guys. There's no longer good or bad or indifferent. I'm a 5. Yeah. We're expressing emotions in numbers now. Okay, so divination, what do you guys think? And then I'll throw it out there. We're gonna zip through this last little bit. Then we'll do meditation. What do you guys think? Self-destruction, good. One person runs the field of operation. One person is running the show. When a Aquarian is being promiscuous, or just someone's being promiscuous, they think they're running the show. They're like, I know what's actually happening. I'm the one running it. You know? This person doesn't know. I'm going to play the field. Right?
I'm wondering whether those people that are walking away are the Aquarius people and he's the Venus, because he's also in the green of the love heart chakra. So
Oh.
passion, heart and passion, and he's holding strong against the wind. And then through the heart, that from above to below is kind of like siphoning through him, but he's holding through the wind. And with the thoughts, those people aren't accepting of it, so they might be like Sagittarius walking away.
Yeah, Venus is a collecting energy for sure. So maybe it's the other people have given up and then the Venus energy is collecting it. That's good. I like that perspective, a little twist on it. How about degrading intellectual matters? Degrading somebody's intellect. That person gives up. They throw their sword down. Which is really, it's really a grim. The 5s are grim, guys. I'm surprised all of you showed up for this day. This is such a grim day. Okay. Revoking of power. In general, a loss. Turning towards your emotion instead of intellect. Surrender, either voluntary or involuntary. Or outwitted by a foe. A foe outwitted you. So if we got this next to the Empress, I mean, not the Empress. Well, we could do the Empress. Let's do the Empress. I was going to say High Priestess, but Empress. What do you guys think next to the Empress? It's okay. Giving up to create something new. So throw the sword down to create something new. The Empress is pregnant. She's giving birth. She's the door to existence.
Maybe those are the other people, the other guys, and he's the one that is the guy that's going to be the first.
Yeah.
If I had those two together, I would think he's the one that won.
Mm-hmm. How about High Priestess? Yeah, it is about the past. High Priestess is about memory, recording things, the consciousness of life, the flow of life.
Maybe like the battle of choosing what to study. Because like I'm a highly passionate person. Sometimes I get frustrated because I don't have the time to like choose what to study.
Yeah, the battle of knowing where to put your sword. The battle of knowing where to put your sword. If you don't know where to put something, you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna throw it down. I'm walking away. Good one. All right. Anybody have anything else they want to say? Last thoughts.
Yeah, I was just thinking really weirdly about what you're saying about the High Priestess and this card next to each other. Almost to suggest that maybe that's something about nutrition or something you're taking in that is altering your ability to discern what is best for you or something. Maybe eating something weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Knowing when to give up so you don't get sick. I like that. Even in work matters. Even in work matters. You know, if you're stressed out, you'll get sick. Your body will start rejecting. You'll get mentally drained. Your consciousness will start to debilitate. You'll start to have diarrhea because your hormone levels are up. You'll start to get headaches.
Yeah, it just totally affect your own energy for sure.
Affects your energy. If you're coming off of a whole bunch of caffeine or a drug, or if you're an alcoholic and you drink a whole bunch and then you stop drinking a whole bunch, your consciousness is going to be like, whoa, what is going on? You know?
Yeah, because tolerance, right? So your brain stops creating serotonin because you're putting in something that is replacing it and it's relying on it, and you take it away and you're not generating that much. Or so then you feel it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a sense of surrender, and your memory or your consciousness of the High Priestess is used to that. And so you're giving something up. You're throwing your sword down. It's good. Good stuff, guys. All right. 5 of Pentacles. This is a fun one. It's very scary. All right. Lord of Earthly Trouble. Another hard hitter. Another hard hitter. I'm surprised all you guys came tonight. This is such a grim night. So grim.
Oh, you know what I was thinking? It doesn't have to be grim. You could spin it. You could say it's about teaching. We have to learn how to recognize this so we know how to be resilient. And when these matters are thrown at us in the world, now we see there's like, reflections of that in tarot, and we can sort of find a path through that. Maybe it'll help.
Yeah. When there's trouble, there's decision making. We got to stay bright. We got to stay on the bright side. The other side, we could either choose grim or being wise, knowing what to do. Good, I like that, Mitch. Putting a good spin on it.
Can put that on syllabus.
Yeah. Yeah, positivity only. I'm breaking the rule. Gosh, guys, where's the whip? Let's stay positive. Go ahead.
It can't be positive. There's snow. I need that right there.
All right, Miss California.
No.
Okay, Miss
No,
California.
this is bad already.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Snowflakes it's an example of the diversity of creation.
Yeah.
And they can't explain why. Science still doesn't have a perfect example or answer for why every snowflake looks different.
Geometry, sacred geometry is in the snowflake. Isn't every single snowflake like a hexagram?
Yeah, except for that, yeah, that's hard. Yeah, it's basically.
But they all have different interior patterns.
Yeah. I looked it up recently.
Yeah, and
I
you,
believe that science must know this by now, but I couldn't find any specific answer.
yeah, and it's interesting because the water molecule is a polar covalent bond. It's a polar covalent bond, which means that the protons sit with the hydrogen and the electrons sit with the oxygen, and they create a perfect balance. They create a perfect balance. Just like our life, we're born and then we die. And we are 70 to 80% water. No, however much water you drink. Some of us are more dehydrated than others. Maybe you live longer. I'm just kidding. But yeah.
Mitch, have you heard of the book The Hidden Messages in Water?
Mm-hmm.
You might like it. It's about how energy affects like the structure of water crystals.
Good.
My mom made me read it when I was like 12.
Dr. Yamato.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I love it when we start bringing science into this stuff. It makes it more real. Makes it even more real. Good job, guys. So, Lord of Earthly Trouble. We're going to read in it. Lord of Earthly Perspective, Mitch. Lord of Earthly Perspective. That's why we're going to read some of the Tao tonight after meditation. Lord of Earthly Perspective. Mercury and Taurus. Another contradictory force. Mercury and Taurus. Resistance. Okay? Material common sense. Taurus drives forward, Mercury likes to change, which makes it hard for Taurus to drive forward. Monetary affairs are prioritized with Mercury and Taurus. Mercury in Taurus is resistant to change. So the Taurus doesn't want to change, it wants to be stuck in its ways, and Mercury is trying to change Taurus. That's very difficult for Taurus. On the contrary, Mercury in Taurus is good at business and is concrete result based. So both of them like results, and they can agree on that. Mercury wants to change, that's its result. Taurus wants to reach the end goal and drive forward. But they can both agree on results. So somehow they make it work. Somehow. Somehow. All right. So, number one, the first question. Where are the two characters outside of? Where are they outside of?
Cathedral.
Cathedral, yeah. And churches like what? God. They like structure. They like you to not sin. Don't study tarot. It's bad. You're sinning. Just kidding. Just kidding. Right, Phoenix? So, what's up, Mitch?
I just think it's interesting because of the structure, but it is sort of almost, they were used in the past kind of to impose regulations or regular activity in a town or a city without law, like a way for people to get norms mirrored into them so they all acted right. But it ended up being really distanced from some of the stuff, for example, I mean, like the names, for example, like what we learn in Kabbalistic teaching is holy names like Elohim, but they got apparently mistranslated in the Bible as Lord God. So they still use the word Lord God, and they are referring to what is referred to in Kabbalah as the Elohim, or like the divine female, or the feminine divine. But now they can't acknowledge that because it was structured very rigidly.
Right. They try to keep it very masculine. Yeah, the church likes things masculine. They like things dominated by men for some reason. when in all reality, our universe is predominantly feminine dominant. Everything comes from the mother. We all have the mom. Even um, artificial pregnancies, they still need the mom. You can have a sperm donor, but the mom is still carrying. Like, let's get real here.
I noticed the pentacles in the window. They remind me of the tree of life because you can kind of see the yellow lines behind them connecting.
Yeah, good job. It lines up really good. Good job, Gracie. Yeah, we've talked about that before. If you put the card next to the tree, it's all there. It's all there for us to see. What else, guys? Where are the two characters outside of the church, established religion, masculine dominant structure,
Outcasts?
outcasts? Yeah. They don't want the sick people inside the church. They don't want the poor people inside the church. They're not paying their dues.
It's this cathedral building. It looks very dark black, and then the window aperture is gray. So the black is more feminine color, and then the gray, which is the masculine. I don't know. It's interesting just to show a church as black, like feminine, kind of, but it might not be. I don't know.
Can I add to that? So they're standing on the white snow, so it's like they're still grounded in God or the divine, even though they're outcast from the system that works with it.
Yeah.
Kind of has Ebenezer Scrooge vibes to me.
It does. Very Scroogey. Ah, humbug. Good. Why are they depicted as poor looking or disabled?
It's earthly trouble.
Earthly trouble.
The underdog.
Underdog, yeah.
It almost seems like maybe the church has the money too because of the stars or whatever being there. Yeah, symbolic of the money and the earth and whatever. So it isn't like they're holding it or anything like that. So it could have been something that was taken from them, or it could be something that they're walking towards. So maybe they're going to go and ask the church for help, knowing that there's money there. Or that earthly stability like you're talking about. I'm sorry, I went off the question a little bit.
No, you're okay. In the pictorial key of the tarot, A.E. Waite calls them mendicants, and which means beggars. It's a very old-fashioned English word which means beggar. Mendicant, beggar. So maybe they're hurt by the church's undeviating ways. So maybe the people in the picture is the Mercury power, and the stained glass window is representing the Taurus power, the charging forward.
They've definitely been, the outcasted, and it was mentioned that maybe that guy's a leper or whatever.
Oh yeah, you
He had to
mentioned that.
go.
Yeah, the leopard.
Then it's kind of like maybe all of society kind of like rejected that person or those people in general.
Yeah, we need to be more accepting of people that are disabled. That's just like a big thing that society is still trying to get over, is accepting people with special needs. We have to be accepting of them. We have to allow them in.
Yeah, it's really interesting that you just bring that up because I was sort of thinking about that too. In one of the videos that we listened to, I think there was some mention of how it's supposed to be, well, it could be interpreted that all of our perceptions and our ability to perceive as human beings, which means our five senses or our abilities that we consider normal, are granted to us or they're given to us through the emanation of the divine will or something. And so the fact that these people are disabled, this is really a dated image, but I sort of was having trouble with the conception that this might be meaning, you know, like these people are, because I was thinking about it at the time, well, what does that mean in the sense of a handicap? Like, how do you see a handicapped human then, or if I were to become handicapped, you know, I would see, that would be really hard for me then to hear that about how all my senses are coming from the divine, because like, did I do something against, you know, the deity to lose my sight or hearing, you know, and that it ties into that concept of ableism or something that, yeah, back in the day especially, it was way more difficult for a person who had a disability to be accepted as that.
Yeah, it for sure was. And yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, when these images were made, it was the early 1900s, and if you were disabled, woo, you had it rough.
Still that way if you go to places like third world countries, Mexico, places like that.
Yup.
Really rough for those people there.
Yeah, in the United States, we at least give them a disability check. You know, we give them a place to stay, right?
Ramps.
Ramps, more, you know, accessible to people that are disabled. It's good. We're starting to broaden our horizons. That's kind of where that Aquarian energy comes in, is good. It's not always bad. It's not always bad.
And I kind of always thought maybe like during those times, maybe I'm not 100% sure, but whether or not the church was there to help those people that were going through those things where other people wouldn't, because they're trying to keep that kinder heart through God. So I don't know. So maybe it isn't necessarily a rejection. And as mentioned in one of the videos too, is that in the windows it's an anchor. So in the picture there's anchors there. So maybe it's their anchor of money that they're coming to while all society has rejected them. All those snowflakes left them in the cold.
Yeah.
They're out in the world away from the church.
They could be going inside of the church. That's a good point. We don't see the door. They could be walking to the door to get food, or you know, walking to the door to get help. Yeah.
You know, most churches think that the pentagram is, you know, Satan or whatever.
Yeah.
So why would that be on the glass of a church? I don't know. Back then.
I feel like A.E. Waite was kind of spitting in their face. Kind of spitting in the church's face a little bit.
And I was kind of reading about the stars too. Back when they're used for like us, these particular stars were used for the directions, you know, and the planets. So it was kind of like foundational kind of thing. So I don't know. It doesn't mean that it's Satan's.
You guys are really bringing some good insight. Obviously, I didn't study enough for the Five of Pentacles. Good. So divination, what do you guys think? And then we're done. We're going to take a break and do meditation. If people need to go, they can go.
A certain level of hope, even in despair.
Mm-hmm. Hope and despair. Good. I like that.
Maybe it mean it's time to ask for help.
Asking for help. I like that. See, you guys don't need me. You guys don't need me.
And maybe to look around, because even in the snowflakes, you can actually build an igloo, or you know, in those hard times, I mean, you have the solution underneath your feet.
Mm-hmm.
There's an excellent insulator.
Yeah.
It's how are you using it? What's around you?
Good.
I mean, there seems like there's no fun in this card.
How about undeviating love? Because the woman and the man, even though they're in hardship, they're still together. Undeviating love. On the contrary to Venus and Aquarius, where there's deviation. Undeviating love. Which creates harmony. Kind of. There still probably could be some troubles, but not as hard as the Venus and Aquarius.
And maybe they're setting their money all in one place, you know, where you're gonna reset your money somewhere else, because the money is collected symbolically at the church, and it all in one place, collected in one place.
On the downside, it could be destitution. Kind of make it grim. I know, but we're not. We're gonna move away from that word. We call it perspective. All right. What would this mean? We're gonna do this one last exercise and then we're done. Come on, guys. What does it mean if it's by the world? What would it mean if it's by the world? The world card. What do you guys think?
It could be loyalty in the face of hardship or something to an idea or person.
Yeah.
Unwavering.
Unwavering loyalty. I like that.
Let's say, if you struggle with anxiety, it's running your life right now.
Yeah, I like that interpretation too.
Not being sure how things are going technically.
Yeah. Uncertainty and completion. Good. Or it could just mean a loss in completion altogether, or a hard completion.
Maybe the final stretch. Maybe you can see the finish line, but it's gonna be pretty hard.
Rough
Less-
landing.
yeah.
Rough landing. It's gonna be a rough landing. How about right next to the Ace of Pentacles? A hard or a rough monetary advancement, or it's going to be a little hard in the material realm for you, or something's going to manifest in reality that will be difficult, might be disabling.
Maybe you win the lottery, but you don't know what to do with it.
Win the lottery, don't know what to do with it. Give it to the church or stay outside the church and feel disabled.
And if it's after the card, instead of before the card or whatever, after the card, it's just that solution comes before you, so you can start before with that one. So that money.
Good. Any last words?
Like philanthropy, I don't know, like the ace of pentacles. You need to do philanthropic work if you're, it could be your greatest next thing to do.
Yeah. It's going to be rough, but it's going to be great in the end. It's good. Rough start, good ending. All right. That was a good one, guys. That was a really good one. We're going to take a 5-minute break and do a tarot meditation. We do tarot meditation. It's a lot of fun. Well, we think it's a lot of fun. That's why we show up every week. Grab a snack. Take a stretch. Woo, that was 3 hours. Dang. Need to get a stretch after that one. Damn. If you gotta go, it's okay. Nobody has to stay. We won't be offended. The 9 o'clock people aren't here. Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you.